on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. So, the movies coming out in June, there have been so many of them, and they've all been fantastic, and I've just been on a roll with trying to see as much movies as possible, and I was actually considering skipping a Marvel Monday post today, but then Sony must have heard me and was like, you know what? We gotta release the most insane casting announcement ever. Jon Bernthal, the Punisher, has been confirmed for Spider-Man 4? What does this mean? Let's talk about it. Bum, 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 bum. Marvel Monday! Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so right off the bat, I am going to make the title of this video, is Spider-Man 4 going to be rated R? I do want to kind of go ahead and say this. I personally don't think that if they were going to make a Spider-Man rated R movie, I don't think that the rated R character they would want to bring into it is Punisher. I feel like they would want to save that for maybe doing like a Team Red movie. For people who do not know who Team Red is, I don't even know if this is an official comics thing or if this is just something that the fans came up with. But Team Red is a Marvel team that consists of Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Deadpool. And for the longest time, I really wanted it to happen, and I wanted it to be some kind of like multiversal story where we could get Andrew Garfield Spider-Man with Charlie Cox's Daredevil and obviously Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, and I feel like that would have been an incredible team up because those specific versions of those specific characters all feel like they would mesh relatively well together, and depending on who the threat is, I'm sure there's a version of a movie out there that would work really well and would be very interesting. And so when they made Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't remember if a lot of people will know that this was a big thing that was kind of speculatory. A lot of people were expecting that instead of the next couple of Deadpool movies being like, you know, Deadpool sequels, they would be called like Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Deadpool and this character, then Deadpool and that character. And a lot of speculation has been coming out about like, will Sony ever let there be a rated R Spider-Man movie and it be called, you know, like Deadpool and Spider-Man, something like that. So personally, there have been debates online about whether or not a rated R Spider-Man movie would work. And I do think that after seeing the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a rated R movie that was still able to make $1 billion, that I wouldn't put it past Sony to contemplate it. And then on top of that, I could be wrong. Wasn't Kraven the Hunter a rated R movie? I'm pretty sure Kraven the Hunter was a Sony released movie that was rated R, and that one didn't even really push the bounds of rated R. So the fact that we're getting a Spider-Man movie that's going to have the Punisher, who is a very rated R character in it, it's very interesting. I don't think they're going to make this a rated R movie, but I just liked the idea of talking about the possibilities of it, because at the end of the day, I think that when Jon Bernthal was approached about coming back for Daredevil Born Again the first time around, he said that he didn't want to do it because it didn't feel very true to the character, and I think part of it was they probably weren't having him murdering people as much. They probably weren't having him as aggressive of a character as the Punisher needs to be. Like, the Punisher should be somebody who comes in and is just an absolutely massive opposing force that just feels like he can't be stopped. And I feel like somewhere in the writing for that, they didn't necessarily do a good job with the Punisher character. So I know Jon Bernthal is 100% the kind of actor who would turn down a role if they didn't get his character right. And so for him to be in this Spider-Man movie, he needs to be at that same level of intensity. He needs to be somebody who is constantly murdering a bunch of people. And I'm very intrigued to see what threat is going to be big enough that will cause the Punisher to get involved. And I really am intrigued to just see, like, if the Punisher is in this movie, right? We also have to speculate Daredevil's going to be in this movie now, right? Like, is that an insane thing to say? Like, I don't know if I'm on if I'm on my own for this, but I feel like there's no way we get a world where we get a Spider-Man movie that's a grounded story, has the Punisher in it, and doesn't have Daredevil in it. I think that it's wild to me that they confirmed the Punisher and not Daredevil. That being said, if Daredevil potentially is in this movie, there's still a chance that they maybe want to like keep that for the marketing for the film, or they want to completely keep that a surprise. That's still yet to be seen. We do know this movie is definitely going to be coming out after Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So the ramifications of the finale for Daredevil Born Again is something that like some people have kind of been like speculating, like what's going on with that. How is that going to affect Spider-Man? I don't think it will. I think by the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, they're kind of going to have that storyline wrapped up, and all of the stuff with like martial law in New York City is not going to be a thing anymore. But I do think that that opens the door for Daredevil, who just created a successful like superhero team in New York, and potentially will have some kind of run-in with Spider-Man, will he potentially show up in a full-on Spider-Man movie? I think he should. I think it'd be awesome. As much as I am grateful for just the Punisher being in this, I do think that like this is setting up a very interesting conflict that they might need multiple people, because another person who has been announced, but like not by an official source, but by a scooper that has like one of the strongest track records ever, is that Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk is going to be in this movie, and a lot of people are speculating that Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, is going to be the villain of this movie, and he's somehow going to bring back the Salvage Hulk, and that the final fight sequence is probably going to be like a Salvage Hulk versus Spider-Man and the Punisher. And as much as I do kind of think that would be a really epic fight sequence to see, I also think that isn't that a little too similar to the Red Hulk fight that we just got with Captain America Brave New World? Like, do you think that they'd want to, within the span of, that'd be like 4 Marvel movies, and in that span of Marvel movies, they would have 2 that end with a big Hulk fight? I don't know. I do think that that's like a little too similar, and especially with like, by the time they wrapped up the script and everything for this, it was already confirmed that the Red Hulk was going to be in the movie for Captain America Brave New World, and it's definitely something that was well known. And it's not like a situation with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness where like the writers who made Wanda a villain and absolutely gave her this giant like arc of her being a villain didn't get to see WandaVision before they started writing that script. Like, these people would have known that Red Hulk was going to be in Captain America Brave New World. I don't know, just kind of something that I'm throwing out there. I do think like I'm excited to potentially see a Savage Hulk back, but I'm not one of the people who's like so against Professor Hulk. I think that that's like such a wild thing, because for some reason all of the fans before Avengers Infinity War was like, oh my god, I wish we got Smart Hulk. Oh my god, it'd be really cool if we got Professor Hulk. And then in Endgame, when we got Professor Hulk, everybody was just like, ew, why did they ruin the Hulk? Why does the Hulk not smash things anymore? And I'm like, you guys literally wanted this. After Thor Ragnarok and we had an incredible Hulk that was like speaking in full sentences, people were like, oh my god, they're going to do the Professor Hulk thing. And then Marvel did it. And then people are like, oh my god, why do you do that? They're constantly doing stuff like that. And it drives me insane. Marvel fanboys are like the worst people ever to please. And speaking of Marvel fanboys being the worst people ever to please, we're also going to talk about, I believe this week, we have the first 3 episodes of Ironheart releasing. I'm actually insanely excited about the show. I made entire videos talking about why I'm excited about the show and why I think that the show has a shit ton of potential. But one of the few things that I kind of want to just come on here and talk about is the final trailers. They've been really harping heavily on the fact that there's going to be witchcraft on this. I've seen a lot of people speculating that somehow this show is going to connect to Vision Quest. I'm not going to go into any crazy speculation about that because I don't think it will at all. But I do just kind of want to talk about the fact that this show is coming out this week. I'm insanely excited about it. I'm going to attempt to watch all 3 of the episodes before next Monday, and my next Marvel Monday video to be a review on those 3 episodes of Ironheart. I think personally I'm probably going to like it a lot more than other people, but that being said, I just kind of want to come on here and talk about it, and just want to say, hey, if a show hasn't been released yet, maybe don't hate on it. Maybe give it a chance. Maybe wait for it to come out, watch a couple episodes of it, and then make your review, because the amount of people who are pissed right now and are like, why are you making this? Why aren't you making this other project? Oh my god, why are you making an Ironheart movie? Oh, it should have been this character. Oh, it should have been that character. Guys, for one, Ironheart's a character from the comics. For 2, the original Iron Man movie took place in 2008. Now in the Marvel MCU timeline, they're in 2027. It's been 19 years since the first person pulled up in an Iron Man suit of armor, and now somebody else is finally making one, and you guys are just like, oh my god, they're stealing Iron Man's whole thing. Hey, in Iron Man 2, a bunch of people were trying to make suits of armor that were like Iron Man armor. We now finally have a character again that is doing that. This should be like a really cool thing. This should be like about damn time somebody finally figured out how to recreate an Iron Man suit. This should be exciting. And especially, like, I personally was somebody who was really excited for the Armor Wars movie that is officially canned and is not happening. But the concept of there being somebody who's flying around with an Iron Man suit, fighting against people, especially people with wizard powers, shut the fuck up. This show's going to be fantastic. Anyways, that was pretty much everything I wanted to come on here and talk about. Very short, very brief. I'm extremely excited to see Jon Bernthal in the next Spider-Man movie. I do think announcing his casting is probably a really good decision because Jon Bernthal is a movie star. I feel like when it comes to a lot of the Disney Plus TV shows, they're constantly bringing in these characters and actresses that are like relatively big stars, but not like people who you would think of as like a huge movie star. But John Bernthal has been in so many action movies and war films that he kind of is like a, oh my God, John Berthel's going to be in this. This is exciting because he's really good in these action roles. So I'm excited about that. I don't know how the fuck Spider-Man and Punisher are going to beat a Hulk. Like, obviously, I think Spider-Man definitely can do a lot of damage, but I'm trying to think about, like, the Punisher. He just has a bunch of guns, and yes, he's a very strategic person, but, like, that's a Hulk. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I'm excited about the future of Marvel. I think that everything is going relatively well. I think, like I said, I think I'm going to watch Ironheart this week. I'm incredibly excited about it, and I will see you guys next week for another episode of the Marvel Monday. Boom, 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 boom. How was that? Was that good? That's me singing it in the intro, by the way. I don't know if it's obvious. It should be obvious. I don't know. I gotta work on my personality. Anyways, that's for this video, guys. Do you mind if we're gonna, okay, bye.